Hello again, everyone. We once again find ourselves in Hearthstone with the returning Tavern Brawl, actually, of the Great Summoner Competition. Now, last time we were on the Priest deck, which actually I like working very well, but we've actually switched up and going to show a bit of a Druid style if the Priest isn't quite for you. And the interesting things with the Druid deck itself is that it has Druids actually have the only 9 mana cost spell in the game right now, which means you can get Alexstrasza, Malagos, Nosdormu, Ysera, Cenarius, King Crush, Mal'Ganis. Then you can also have some other cards in here like Mechanier, Thermoplug, Anexia, Volcanic Lumber, Lord Jaraxxus, King Crush, stuff like that. But it's actually, just having the Tree of Life can actually be a very good high value card in this, as the Druid will tend to get towards late game. And then you can pop that out and get one of those major cards out that are very, very useful. Another thing that Druid also has is a vast majority of 6 mana cost spells. The Priest had 2, the Holy Fire and the Light Bomb. The problem with the Light Bomb is it would often destroy whatever you got out there with your 6 mana cost, since the creature would come out first and then the Light Bomb would trigger. So if you got something like a Thaurissan, a Gadgetzan Auctioneer, normally that would die if you got it with a Light Bomb. But here we have a few more options, so that if we get lucky with like a Toshly, a Trade Prince Gallywix, which is amazing in this mode. Even that Thaurissan or the Gadgetzan Auctioneer, it'll stay on the field more likely, and you have cards like Dark Whispers and other things like that. Actually, what's also funny is getting the Wind Fury Harpy on the field, which you can combine with the Savage Roar for some kind of BM finishers, along with Dark Whispers as well. So there's a kind of standard Druid deck. Again, it's a lot of spells. You want to be running as many spells as possible in this particular mode. We do have the one Mech-Bearer Cat in this deck just to get us additional spare part cards, just to have the additional spell cast that we can throw in there. But again, pretty much all spells. We've got 4 different 5 mana cost drops just to help us out. But the difference with the Druid deck as opposed to the Priest deck is you have the additional Innervates, Wild Growths, the Nourishes to get you more get you that ramp up to be able to cast these higher mana cost spells quicker. Plus, you also have the ramp of just like the Nourish for draw cards or the Wrath for draw cards, rather than having to depend on a little bit more luck style with you running a full spell Priest deck. So it's actually run fairly well to start. Let's just hop in real quick here and see how well this works. And I actually like this particular Druid deck matching up against the Priest deck, just because it's a little bit faster. It can have ones that board control, and of course you have the double Savage Roars. I only have the one Force of Nature in the deck because 1, that's all I have, and 2, really that's all you need. Because your deck's with as many spell cards as you have, your board's gonna be full anyways. So you can pretty much use that Savage Roar whenever. So a little bit more aggro than the Priest deck. I actually find this particular matchup to be favoring the Priest a little bit.
I must protect the wild.
The Nourish is okay, but we don't really have anything to get into it. This deck actually runs fairly well going second. With the coin, you have a couple different second double mana cost spells that you can put out very quickly. Soul of the Forest I actually really like in this deck. I'm running 2 of them because the 4-drop happens first. You get that 4 mana cost creature, and then the Soul of the Forest applies to everything else on you have on the field, including. Oops, that was a mistake. Luckily it still applies to the Bloodwind Raptor, but I meant to pull out a 3/2 Panther. But that's the nice thing about a lot of these Druid spells, is they apply. The creature comes out first, and then the effect applies. So that's very nice to have in a lot of these situations. I think we'll just trade here. Get rid of that Injured Blade Master, because that can be a very annoying card in the Priest deck. I'm hoping this doesn't come back to bite me, because I really meant to use summon out 3/2 Panther. But I'm so used to using the Power of the Wild for that +1/+1. just a bit of habit falling in there, unfortunately. There's a Tree of Life. And while the mind control was fairly useful for the taking creature, and you're stuck to either two creatures, the Oxdrive, which is basically just a 12/12, or I think it was the Molten Giant. Was it the Molten Giant? No, it was the one of the Giants. But you're basically stuck to either 12/12 or an 8/8. With the Tree of Life, you basically you have a high chance of getting one of those high value legendaries. Do we gain too many crystals? Yeah, I think we do here.
Snakes.
That's fine.
It has to be
Get close to the Tree of Life if need be. Especially because I have Soulfire and I have additional cards on deck, so I'm not really worried about it. The Recycle is actually pretty nice too to have. There's a lot of control-y type cards that you don't normally see run in a traditional Druid type deck because they just don't really fit the meta very well. But in this situation, they're actually pretty nice to run. I think we Starfall here and then just... Yeah, I think we'll just Starfall here.
That belongs in a museum.
Carson Jones.
For the wild.
The Naturalize is a nice card to have as a very last backup. It's basically just like a 1 mana cost kill card. That, yes, it allows your opponent to draw 2 cards, but in this case, he's actually got full 10 cards.
I will enjoy
So we can force a mill of at least 1 card. If he doesn't play a card, we'll force a mill of 2 cards. So let's actually force a mill of 2 different cards here. Ooh, Shadow Form. That's actually a good one to get rid of. Let's go ahead and just Dark Whispers this thing. I think next turn we're probably going to run out of the Soul of the Forest.
Hand is too full.
Oh, we got rid of the other hostile too. It's interesting because I don't usually see Priest deck in this situation run as slow as this one is. You can actually Starfire Soul of the Forest here.
Embrace the void.
So yeah, my Soul Priest. So just kill the Arcanite Soul Priest here. With the Soul. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Now see, if we were running a Priest and we ran a Light Bomb, the Hogger would have died. So that is beautiful to have. This is actually a very good board too, because whenever these 3 die, I automatically get a 2/2 as well. So the only thing I'm missing right now is trying to get that Force of Nature. Get that burst damage up in here. Just gonna kill the Axlinger, that's fine. You can actually just Wrath it, because we got spell damage. That's both Shadow Word Pains, that's interesting. So that's both Shadow Word Pains out of his deck so far.
Embrace the void.
Why is Shadow Madness there? It does give a charge, okay. Interesting. Oh, well, that actually makes it easier. So if we swipe. I wonder, is this 2? No, it's 2 damage to a minion, so.
Don't blink.
We'll just hit face here a couple times. Well, we got a lot of different control cards. I mean, we got the Tree of Life. Probably not going to end up using this game. But we got the Recycle. That's very useful. If he gets like a big taunter out there. He does not yet have enough mana for Mind Control. So that's very nice. There is the Holy Nova. And that's just a 1/7 bulk. That's not threatening at all.
Summoning portal open.
Okay, it could potentially become threatening, but at least we got the naturalize. We're not going to recycle it because that could be potentially problematic. So let's just go ahead and naturalize it here. We can wild growth for another card draw. You get basically 2 creatures for free out of it. Let's go ahead and Wrath here.
For the wild.
Trade this way in case he has another Holy Nova.
Running speed.
So we can at least keep that in the field. And I'm feeling pretty good about this. Though, if he Holy Nova's here, that would give us 2 more creatures. If he Mind Controls, we pretty much have him dead anyways. We got the Starfire. So if he Mind Controls this, we've still got a lot on the field. It will not give him a Taunter. Yeah, that's game. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, plus a Starfire. Oh, and we got the Gadgetzan Auctioneer. It's too bad we don't need it, and we don't need the Tree of Life. But there it is. I do really like the Druid in this matchup just because it feels like it works so well against the Priest deck. You get to run a lot more of those Druid control type cards where normally with the Druid deck you don't want to go spell heavy. This format really allows you to go spell heavy with the Druid and use some of those better cards that fit this mode so well. But there's a Druid deck. We'll play a few more with this, but for now, there you go.